Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is a special episode that I did with James Murphy over at Advisors Mortgage, which is based out of Ocean Township, New Jersey. They're the number one lender in Monmouth and Ocean County. This is a really special one because James and I are collaborating on a couple of things that are really going to help families kind of going forward into the new year. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Comment in the sections below with any questions. Hey guys, it's Peter Cunha, your New Jersey real estate giant, broker, owner of Open Doors Realty, and I have a extremely special guest today, James Murphy from Advisors Mortgage. How you doing, James?
I'm doing fantastic. Peter, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. James, thank you. It's truly an honor to have you on today because you're my business partner of the week. What I
Yeah.
love about these sessions that I do is you guys make me look really smart. And part of that is just, when we go through the whole process of buying a home, I always say this, it's not complicated. It is difficult, but it's not complicated, right? And the reason it's not is because I have people like you with me. And we always get the job done, right? And sometimes, it's just a little bit more complicated because the clients are all different. We were talking about this earlier today where you could have two separate clients. One guy makes more money than the other guy, but doesn't get approved for a loan. And
Yeah.
why is that? Because he's got more debt.
Right. Any of the other factors that go in play. Right. There's so many other reasons.
Yeah. But James, I think what for everybody that's out there, just kind of tell us, kind of give us your background. Tell us a little bit about advisors and just kind of we'll kind of get into this.
Sure. Well, I mean, Advisors is a fantastic company, a billion-dollar company, largest market share in Monmouth and Ocean County. Fantastic loan officers, amazing leadership. It is hands down the best place I've ever worked in my near 20-year career of doing this thing. What was it? It was back in 03, 04 when I first got my start into this. And funny enough, I'm working with the same manager that I started my career with, Sean Moran. We were over in our Allied Home Mortgage, right? And I was working as a technical recruiter, not really enjoying it, but it was a job. It was out of college. There was a whole long story about what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to be an attorney, and if it was before that, I was a police officer. And somehow I knew I was born for sales. Not because one partly because I have the gift of gab, but also because it allows me an opportunity to use my talents and strengths to help those in need and help those help provide homes for them. But so anyway, so I as I like to say from the book Good to Great, I was on the wrong seat of the bus, right? I was a recruiter. I knew my skill sets weren't being utilized. I wanted to do something more. I had a friend who was actually got into the mortgage business. Sam Shetta, he's a fantastic guy, but he got me into the business by buying a bunch of cars and houses. And I said, "What the heck are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm in the mortgage business." I said, "Well, let's go." Unfortunately, I didn't have experience, so Chase wouldn't hire me. So I ended up finding one of Sean's employees at a job fair that I was working due to the headhunting recruiting thing. And I said it aligned to where I could, and she liked it. Long story short, it got me into the room with Sean and his partner Joe, and they hired me on the spot. It's funny, the way I learned this business was by them basically throwing me to a den of wolves. It was all ex Wall Street guys in a call room, bunch of leads. It was basically, all right, kid, yeah, everything was great. Here you go. Here's some leads. There's a phone in there, and there's a script on the table. Call us if you get anybody. And I was like, what? Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I got all these guys, all these ex Wall Street guys yelling and talking. You know the deal. And I'm on the phone and I'm trying to explain, I'm trying to read the script. I don't know what DTI means, LTV, right? And I'm talking to this one guy and he's asking what it takes to get approved. And I say something like, well, sir, we got to evaluate your Diddy and calculate it's DTI, you idiot. I hear from the background, the guys yell, I was like, DTI. So to this day, Sean actually calls me J Diddy or something along those lines, but it's been a funny thing. But that's how I learned this business by getting thrown into a room with a bunch of callers and some scripts, and you stumbled along the way, but you learned quickly. You learned what to do and most importantly what not to do. Like call it DTI Diddy.
Yeah, no, it's I remember you want to talk about Wall Street kind of experiences. I forgot. Some guy was like, like in the morning it gets really hectic. Everybody's calling you to tell you what's being upgraded or downgraded, and I forgot that there was a company that had been defunct for like 10 years.
Right.
Guy's like, who's this? And I'm like, Peter, I just joined the desk. He's like, tell Charlie that so and so just upgraded whatever stock, right?
Right.
I'm like, Charlie, Jimmy just said that, whatever just upgraded. He's like, do yourself a favor, just stick your head right up your ass, right? That company's been out of like business. It's like, and that was like the last time I didn't want to talk to that guy ever again because they
Right.
had known each other for like 30 years.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I was like, wow, all right, that was like my rookie hazing of day one. And I was already
And so
pitching.
we all get it. We all get it one way or another.
So don't feel too bad about the DTI. There's something that you said that I thought was really, really good. It's, my wife and I always talk about this, like the person that wants to be the police officer or the nurse, right? Generally, they come from a place of contribution, right? Because yeah, it's it's a pretty big deal, right? To like save lives and help people and all that other good stuff. Cops, unfortunately, they get shit on for no reason right now, when they put their lives on the line every single day. And I'm like, I just I didn't at an early age I didn't want to do any of that stuff, right? It's funny, I think if you look back at my yearbook when I was in eighth grade, I wanted to be like an orthodontist or a dentist or something like that. It's like, and I hate science, right? It's
But apparently you like teeth.
yeah, it was like kind of like, oh, all right, I know somebody that's a dentist, so I guess that's what I'll do, right?
Right.
And then life just kind of the goals change, and we were talking about this before, the 20-40-60 rule. It's like,
Mhm.
up to the age of 20, you're always worried about what people think of you. When you turn 40, you stop caring, and then when you turn 60, you realize nobody was thinking of you in the first place. So what
Right.
did you waste 60 years on? So what things do you like to do for fun? I'll put you on the spot. What was the last concert you went to?
Last concert, it's been a while. Peter, I've got a 13-year-old, 11 and 8-year-old at home. When I like to tell people I'm going out, it's really just to the food store. That's
Yeah.
the highlight of my day. So last concert, where was it? It was a John Legend concert.
Wow.
Long time ago. It's been a long time since I was at a concert. Maybe there's one between, but I can't recall it. What do I like to do for fun? I love to play sports. I'm a basketball fan. I love to play ball. I coach a lot. I coach on different levels. I coach my kids' sporting teams. I do,
Good.
sales, leadership coaching on other levels. But I love to be part of the community. I'm also a councilman in my hometown. So I volunteer a lot with, different committees, recreation committees and the DPW, and other different, functions if possible. As far as what I like to do for fun, my fun is really hanging out with my kids. That's fun to me. Everything else is, work, a hobby, or part of life, you
Yeah.
know. But
No,
that's I'm pretty lame here, Peter.
no, it's funny. I only have one kid, right? I love my daughter, right? She's got the only child thing. She loves being an only child, right? She doesn't like to compete for attention or anything like that.
Right.
And my wife was telling me I'm a huge Cure fan, and they just finished up a European tour, and she's like, chances are that they're probably going to be coming to the U.S. next year. So,
Yeah.
my 8-year-old daughter got wind of it, and my wife's like asking her, "Do you want to go to the concert?" In the back of my head, I'm like, she doesn't really like concerts, and the whole nine. And my daughter's only reason to wanting to go to the Cure concert is because it's my favorite band.
Right, and for daddy.
Yeah, she wants to go with her dad, and I'm like, absolutely. Nothing
Yeah,
would make me happier than to say that I had gone to a Cure show with my dad. Like with
yeah,
my daughter who was 8 or whatever. And
yeah.
Shameless, yeah, like I could care less. We could listen to one song, just to get her a Cure T-shirt, and yeah,
Picture a little selfie with her there, right?
yeah, yeah. No, it's like it's just like the little things, like you said. It's spending time with the family.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the year, where we're going through the holidays and stuff like that. What are you doing for New Year's?
New Year's, I'll be home with the kids, banging pots and pans, when the ball drops. That's a big tradition. We've got a lot of traditions in our house where, my son, one of his favorite holidays is New Year's Eve because we play these different games and there's balloons along the stairs and each one of them gets to pop one every set amount of time, 20 minutes, an hour, depending on how many balloons we come up with. But
Right.
and each one of the balloons has a piece of paper in there that's like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna play this game, or a scavenger hunt. Find three Santa Clauses, two candy canes, and a Santa hat. And they gotta run around the house and do that kind of stuff. But and then we'll do sparkling juice and stuff like that. But we really we pretty much just stay home. I love the younger days. I would love to go out and there's a party going on that we were invited to, but you don't get these years too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be partying later on. I'm gonna enjoy my kids right now.
Yeah, that's I feel the same way, right? Like, it's I think we're hosting, I don't know how my wife volunteered. Like, people are excited to come over to our house. I'm like, listen, I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock. So like, and she's like, well, they'll probably all be gone by then, right? And I'm like, I hope so.
The event actually takes place at like midnight, right? Like the crescendo of the party.
I'm a big believer that it depends on where you're at in the world, right? Like,
Sure.
it's midnight in London, right? Like, it's like that's good enough for me. Boom. Like,
Right.
it's I remember one year my wife and I, it was the first year we had met, and we went to Barcelona for New Year's, and it was, we sat at a communal table with like all these wonderful people, but nobody really spoke English. It was almost better that way because it was just like, oh, what do you like? There's none of you really got to spend time with the
Yeah.
person that we're there with, because we're all from such different parts of the world. Um, no, listen, you're doing some really good things over Advisors Mortgage. One of the things that I love is every time I talk to you, we're very growth based. We have our libraries are pretty similar. You do have more books than me, so I'm more of a audible sort of guy. So yeah, it's nice to see
Uh-huh.
the hard copy stuff. It always gets me into the spirit. Everybody has New Year's resolutions. I think that everybody should read Think and Grow Rich once a year. So that's going to remind me
Great.
to, yeah, start that one over again. What are your goals for next year? And how can we get you to the finish line?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of having obviously goals, and in the mindset of the targets, right? You can't hit a target if you don't have one, as it's been said. So my team and we're calculating our numbers and how we did this year and last year and previous years, and kind of deciding where we want to be next year and how many families we want to help, and trying to set that bar, and what kind of volume are we looking to achieve, and that's more of a personal goal of just trying to hit a certain target, but as far as the amount of families, we're looking to do at least 50, I'd say at least 50 to 100 families, on a minimum side of transactions that we're trying to close together. And, if we can hit that, I know it's obviously going to pay well, but it's going to feel great. And, that's really what we're looking to do. We're looking to do more events, more seminars, more professional and public events, for both of our professional partners as well as the first time home buyers, and really anybody out there looking for financing. I mean, there's a lot to learn about this industry, about getting a mortgage. Sometimes I tell my clients, getting a mortgage these days is like walking through a minefield. Any wrong step can blow up the entire transaction. But when you're holding the hand of someone who's walked through that field for 20 years or so, it's a little less scary. So we're trying to provide that comfort of the knowledge and the experience that we bring to the table, and try to get a lot more people in homes. I find a lot more people out there are scared, they're afraid with the economy, with the interest rates, with what's happening with employment, you name it. It's everything and anything. So we're really just trying to bring people to the table, help them fulfill their dreams of home ownership, and make a few bucks along the way.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before too. One of the things I'm really excited about is doing more of the client events and getting out in front of people, like you were saying, especially first time home buyers, just doing seminars where they can really, just the way I look at them, it's like a Q&A, right?
Yeah,
A lot of times they don't know what questions to answer.
right.
That's where we can kind of guide them a little bit, but it's always I love it. I get a phone call and it's like, I want to buy a house. Well, how much do you want to spend? I don't know. Like I have 50,000 in the bank. I'm like, all right, call James.
He'll figure out how to use that.
Right. It's because again, it's I just I don't blame anybody. It's just I didn't know what I was doing when I bought a house.
Yeah,
Part of the reason why I got into real estate was because I didn't have that good of an experience with my realtor, and if he was doing that, I could do that, right? So luckily for me, it's worked out, and like you said, I've been able to help quite a few families this year. I plan to help even more families next year.
yeah.
So it's we align in that way. One thing that we were excited about is talking about movies and throwing an event for our clients on the movie front too, right? So um, since we're in the holiday spirit, what's your favorite holiday movie?
Ah, there's a lot of them out there. I want to tell you, I'm a big fan of It's a Wonderful Life, the classic. There's something about the story behind it, going, how we all feel. I think that we all can relate to this one, right? But then there's like the elves of the world of them out there, and that's always fun. Um, I feel like my family feels like if Tim Allen's not in the movie, it's not a Christmas movie. So there's a lot of those. But if my all-time favorite probably is gonna be It's a Wonderful Life. I live the life of Bailey sometimes.
Yeah, so that's my wife's favorite movie. It's not officially Christmas.
Classic.
She gets to watch it. So she actually wanted to name my daughter Zuzu, and I
I'm
absolutely said no to that.
gonna bring her pedals when I see her. Just here you go. I see if she catches the reference.
Yeah, no, she like way beyond that. But like I was like, all I kept thinking, I was like, next on stage, Zuzu pedals, right? Like absolutely not, right? Like once you have that image in your head, you're like, no, next
Yeah.
thing. My personal favorite is I guess Elf.
Yeah.
Uh, I just
Elsa
absolutely
Claire.
yeah, just absolutely love it. We were watching it the other day and it's like,
Home Alone. How do we not say Home Alone too? I mean, that's a classic. I love that one.
well, all right, so what camp are you in? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?
Listen, is it a Christmas movie? Is it more of an action movie with Christmas during Christmas time? I could probably make an argument for both. I would give it to Christmas. Yeah, you don't really have many action Christmas movies, so why take one away? So I'll throw it in the camp. I'm in the Christmas movie camp. Why not?
All right, good, good. I was gonna say you can't ride the fence like that on that one.
No, I'm just
I'm like, I'm gonna go with definitely no. But that's I'm a Grinch, so whatever.
like I said, you could definitely make a case either way.
Yeah. So what was from your standpoint, from either a personal or kind of business thing, what would you say your aha moment was, or like what are you most like looking back, right? It's always about reflection and telling Jennifer Cunningham this the other day, like I'm just so happy to have certain people in my life, right? Outside of my immediate family. Um, what sort of goals or like, like people that are you're just kind of involved with that have really kind of taken you to somewhere where you weren't expecting in a positive way.
Yeah. Well, I think one of a big change for me was when I started to take the focus more off of myself. and more on myself as a team, right? And in my that I mean, starting to realize that it's not just me that gets these customers to the table, that these buyers to in their home, these families in their home. It's a whole team behind me. And I remember when I was doing this and I was trying to do everything on my own, right? I think we've all been there. You try. It was having a very difficult time delegating the task at hand, and my production always had suffered for it because there's only so much of us and so many hours in the day. But a deciding factor, a big game changer for me was when I started to realize, what, it's time for a loan officer's assistant. It's time for my own processor. It's time for my opener, and I to become closer. It's time to build better relationships with my underwriting team. And so I did that, and really everything has changed since then. If I was trying to think back to one person, um, first I'll give credit to my wife, my God, all that good stuff. But really, as far as the industry goes, it would probably be my manager, Sean. Sean Moran. I started my career with Sean back in the end of 03, 04. And we're very synergetic, we're very like-minded, and he's a great leader. I worked with him for a while, then I, got that itch thinking that I wanted more, and so I left him. We just kept in touch, and we've been there. I every now and then, even though I was working for a different company, and ask him some advice or reach out. He helped me out, and one of the last times he called, and I just happened to be right timing, and I said, you know what, let's meet up. And I was at a place. I was a branch manager. Everything was going great to an extent. It had some challenges, and you know what? Some of those challenges kind of got to the point where they were more roadblocks than they were anything else. And I knew, everything happens for a reason. He just called me at the right time. Went out to lunch, and I realized, I need to go back. And came back to Sean. We both came to advisors. He was opening up a branch of advisors. And I think that was the key phrase. He had told me he was opening a branch, and I said to myself, Sean plus advisors, that was my dream team. That's where I wanted to be. So I came back several years ago, and things have taken off then. So it was definitely a good move for me.
So I'm going through kind of I reconnected with an old boss of mine. And it's always good to talk to him because normally we would be spending New Year's down at their house down in South Carolina, and meeting up with all the Yankees that moved down there, right? And we always have a really good time. And I mean, it's like over the top, like borderline, how are you guys not in jail for like, setting off fireworks? But everybody
Right.
does it, right? Like,
Right.
and you just kind of like we just connected, and she's working on some big things, and it was like, oh yeah, like don't forget about me, like I would be interested in learning what the band's coming up with about certain things. So my biggest takeaway, I guess, this year was making the crossover truly from independent agent to like a broker, an owner, right? And really kind of relying on my team to do things because they're so talented, right? I always say that the only difference is the decade plus that I've been in real estate, and I'm trying to fast track them and give them every single tool that they could possibly need to just kind of stand out, right? There's a lot of competition. Obviously, the transaction counts are going to be down next year, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Because we're just trying to help people, like you said, families, and it's like people want to work with people that they trust, number one, right? And how do you develop trust? You got to be good at what you do, and you got to convey that, and you have their best interest in mind, right? And it's a pretty simple formula, and I think that we're all cut from the same cloth to some extent. They're just they know different people, right? It's but one of the funny stories that I love is I have a girl on my team. She's like an old soul. She's 36 years old. She loves hanging out with old people, right? And I'm like, I got events for you to go to, right? So,
Right.
and I'm just really looking forward to the possibility of how many people we can help next year.
Yeah.
And those, we're doing some first time homebuyer seminars right now in Portuguese. To do them in English will be even better because I
Yeah.
won't have to stumble over my words, and trust me, I stumble over my words all the time. So,
Yeah.
it's great having you as a partner. And
Thank
I'm
you.
really proud of you. You're launching, I guess, your own podcast, or YouTube
Yeah.
channel, one or the other. And it's I remember the first time I did it, I was like, I barely know what I'm doing now, but I know a little bit more than I did when I first started. So, what was passed on to me, it's all about content and consistency. As long as
Yeah.
you do those, you'll do just fine. So, wishing you much success on your platform as well.
Thank you very much. I'm not a big not a big fan of social media. I mean, I'm not active, I should say that way. But I know I gotta be. So this podcast, social media thing is the next step. And it's the Advisor's Advantage. James Murphy is the name of the show, and love to do a show with you and have you on there and really help as many people as we can with this. Right? I find that the buyers, they don't know what they don't know, right? And I can't tell you
Oh,
how many
it's good
times
though.
right? And you talk to these customers, and you find out it's like, what do you mean I can't use cash? You can't use cash, right? But it's my money. I know, but there's a process here. So you explain a little bit, and explaining what to do, what not to do, how important that is. I said 50 to 100, but that's really a low estimate of what we're hoping they can do, but definitely a realistic number of what we're looking at with what we have.
Can I just kind of throw something out and accept the challenge or not, right? It's
All right.
you got your target number. We know you're playing it soft. Let's double those numbers.
Well, I had a feeling you might do that, which is partly why I went in soft with you. But
So
yeah,
let's say we're gonna do 100 to 150 next year.
all right, yeah, that's fair. I definitely think that's reasonable, and I think with everything we have going on, I think next year's gonna be a great year. I really do. I think in comparison to this year, any year is a better year than this year. Um, maybe it won't be 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but I definitely think it's gonna be a much better year. Rates should come down based on inflation, and we definitely know that there's a large pool of buyers. I mean, Peter, did you know that the year coming up in 2023, the will show the most 33-year-olds out there, right? When you go back 33 years and look at childbirth, the biggest population will be this year coming up of 33-year-olds. And you happen to know the average age of a first-time home buyer? It's 33 years old. Those kind of statistics excite me because they show us that, listen, there's no matter what rates are at, people need homes.
Right.
And with rates coming down and a huge influx of first-time home buyers and all those buyers that have been sitting on the sideline these last few months because of rates and everything else, I think you're going to have a lot of transactions going on next year. And, is it down from previous years? Maybe, but definitely up from this year.
Right. And to go back to your millennial kind of thought process, we were on the Brian Buffini. I was on the Brian Buffini call the year, the bold predictions is what he calls it. And talking about, I think like 2 out of 3 millennials will be buying a house in the next 2 to 3 years. Like,
Gen Z.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm really excited for 2023. People are always shocked. They're like, "No, I heard the sky's falling," and I'm like, "Get out of town! Like, do you know where we live? Do you know how much demand there is? People are asking me for houses that I took off the market 6 months ago, at a $2 million price point, looking to buy it, and I'm like, we're not selling it. Like, it's just, yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm excited about because I know that I'm in this every day.
Right.
I'm going to leave you and I'm going to drive down to Tom's River to look at an off market property. And I'm not like, again, the real estate stuff's fun. I enjoy helping people, right? But it's like the hunt to find something off market for one of my clients. You want to talk about what we're giving back? It's like, let's find them stuff that nobody else is seeing. So.
Right. And I think I am more excited for 2022 to end and looking forward to 2023 begin.
Ah,
I think that's my excitement.
like I am so excited for next year. You have no idea. Like, you
Yeah.
want to talk about vision? Like, people do vision boards and stuff like that. I'm like,
Mhm.
I am drinking a Sumal in down in the Algarve section of Portugal, yeah, in July with my wife and my kid playing on the beach, and I'm like, I'm good. Like that's what I'm looking forward to. And like, listen, like doing these seminars, I know we're gonna have fun. Number one, we're gonna educate a lot of people. Number two, and hopefully we get to move people into some houses before the end of the year. So,
I'm sure we will.
all right. So you said if your first 100 transactions this year, what did you say you were gonna do? Pick somebody randomly.
So we're looking to pick somebody random. We're looking to do add some incentive, right? So one of the ideas that we were talking about was offering, paying somebody's mortgage for a month or giving back to a charity in their name. But really, the focus is doing what we need to do, but how can we do it better? Well, you can make the process smoother, but you can also bring more joy and more value out of that transaction. So we're still playing with the actual figures or how we're going to set it up, but next year we're looking to give back more to the community, give back to our community of potential buyers and sellers, our clientele, our database. So we're definitely be giving something fun, exciting away, whether it's paying their mortgage. I like to say buy them a car, but I'm still waiting for you to chip in on that. I'm sure you will. But definitely something fun. I like the idea of giving back to a charity in their name. We do a lot of that. Advisors has a program. We have a wheelchair program. Where we'll give back. We'll buy we'll donate a wheelchair in the name of a client or a referral partner of some sort.
That's great.
For someone who needs it. It's crazy how expensive those things are, and to be able to give that back and see the faces and it's awesome. We got a lot of charities that we donate to. There's service dogs. I don't say raise, but we sponsor. That's a better way to put it. But there's a lot of fun things that we do, and a lot more that we're going to be doing here from our branch next year.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. I'm just watching you guys grow. Obviously, you guys have a tremendous presence here in Monmouth and Ocean County. So we were just talking to like one of the marketing people that just stopped in, and it's like there's 2023 is going to be so much fun. It's I say it's fun and I smile, and then there's like I remember what 2022 was and the amount of work and the restless and sleepless nights, you
Mhm.
look at me and you'd be like, is everything okay? And I'm like, everything's fine.
You have to coach yourself. Like everything's fine. I'm okay. It's gonna be
Yeah, I'm
good.
okay. I'm okay. I only got 10 clients that are under contract right now. And we're just kind of smoothing out the process. But it's that's the exciting part. And look at all those people that, it's that did buy the houses, even when interest rates were at 8% versus the people that are still looking. One of the things that I've noticed, and this is where I think we could help people as well, is in the last 2 years, it's been insane to buy a house, right? And a lot of people did buy houses, but not their dream house. So getting them from a place to, if we found you the right house for the right mortgage payment, would you be, obviously you can sell your house. There's still a ton of demand to buy that house that you really wanted, right? I always joke. I said I would never buy a buy level. Guess what I live in? A buy level. I love it. I remodeled it and did everything that I wanted to it. I do love it, but it was the house style that I never wanted. So, James,
Yeah.
listen, we're gonna wrap this one up. I appreciate your time. I love spending the afternoon just talking to you. So, let's keep this up, buddy. We have it on the calendar. Did you say it was like? Do you have the date of the first time homebuyer seminar?
We were looking towards the end of January on that. I don't have it in front of me, but what was the last Tuesday of the month? I think it
Yeah,
was.
something like that. So if any of you guys are interested, we're going to be doing a first time home buyer seminar. It's going to be at branches in, is it technically Oceanport?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oceanport, not Eatontown.
yeah.
Uh,
Very close. They're very close. Sometimes I you saw me look up. I had to think about it. Is it Eatontown? Pretty sure it's Oceanport. It's definitely Oceanport.
yeah, so it's definitely Oceanport. If you're interested, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. And again, let's shamelessly plug your podcast slash YouTube channel. What is it?
It's the advisor's advantage with James Murphy, and I thank you for that.
Right.
Peter, I've enjoyed this time, and honestly, I love sitting and chatting with you. I do this all day with you.
Yeah,
So
all day, except we have to go help people. Our phones have been blowing up. I know they have because we have some closings going on, but James, I'm looking forward to a prosperous 2023. Enjoy the rest of your holidays with your family, and I'll see you soon, buddy. All right.
my brother, thank you, and thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.
All right. Be well. Bye bye.